Hey guys, Chris here with Apeax. Welcome to my studio today. So I have ceramic 20% from Apeax that we're going to be putting on this brand new Toyota Tacoma's windshield. We're not going to leave it on there. This is just for demonstration. But I want to show how to shrink this film. It is going to be a little bit of a slower shrink compared to some other films, but it will lay down and it's going to look phenomenal. So I just want to show you guys how it's laid. So we're just going to go ahead and unroll our tint. There we go. So I'm going to do a dry shrink today. I've already taken, I've cleaned the glass. I've already taken my dryer sheet and I've rubbed it on the glass and it is fully dry. So I'm just trying to line up the tint. Let's go ahead and trim off some of our excess so we're not all over the edges. Usually I leave the film at the top. Maybe not quite this much, but I'll leave some film at the top in case I need to pull shrink. Swap to the other side and do the same thing. Just kind of lift the film up a little bit, put your hard part down, float the film, pull out some of those wrinkles, work with your fingers, get the film somewhat tight all the way across. We're going to come back in here and do our edge work just like we did on the other side. Okay. So I don't make the H anymore. If you're new to window tint, you can do this to help you, because the tint is only going to shrink up and down, or the way that it came out of the box. It will not shrink on the sides. You might have a 1/4 inch that you can shrink, but that's a more advanced technique. But for the sake of this, we're going to shrink it like normal. So let's go grab the heat gun. Let's go ahead and start on this side since we are already over here. Put your heat gun on the highest heat setting. I think my heat gun broke. Sorry guys, had some technical difficulties with the heat gun here, but put the heat gun on the hottest or highest setting. And like I said, we have our anchor straight down the middle. Usually I like to start on the bottom. You see how this finger is over here going on the side? We do not want that. So I'm just going to use my finger to make this one vertical. And I start on the outside and work my way inwards. And as I see these bigger fingers, I use my finger to kind of knock it down. Make it smaller, and we're just going to keep on going across. All this here is shrunk, so you can go ahead and bring that down. And we'll come back in with the heat. I keep using my finger to knock down the bigger fingers, and also to keep the fingers vertical. If you're new to window tint, make your your shrink line straight going all the way across. So you'll see me, I'm shrinking the whole side while I'm over here just to save me some time. But if you're new to tint, shrink about a few inches on one side and go to the other side and continue shrinking to make your shrink line even. So this last little bit here, we are past the dot matrix, and we really don't have to worry about this little bit of stuff right here. Sometimes my OCD gets to me, I just want to make everything flat. So there we go. So that part's done. Let's come up to the top and do the same thing. So again, you'll see me take my finger and I'm trying to make everything vertical. These big fingers making vertical. Personally, I like to take my heat gun and kind of pre-shrink this edge right here, because if I'm gonna have some issues doing tint on the windshield, usually it's gonna be right here in these top corners. So I'll use my finger to do this, and I'll take the heat gun and I'll just come on up. So I'm just kind of getting everything started. Shrinking beautifully. And we're almost at the top. We can go ahead and hard part all this down. You see how these lines are like this? That's what you want. This is completely shrunk, and it kind of resembles waves in the ocean. And we're going to take the waves and we're going to push them to the shore, which in this case is going to be the edge of the glass. So all this last little bit right here is done. There we go. And we can take our knife, stainless steel please, and we're going to go all the way across. And that's done. We're plenty beyond the dot matrix here, but if you're like me and you like to have fun and you just want to come here and get these last little bits right here, make it flat, go ahead and do that. So now we can go to the other side and finish out the shrink. It's basically rinse and repeat. Okay. So we have a really big finger right here, a lot of excess of film. Let's just kind of knock it down a little bit and make sure it's vertical. So I'm going to take my finger and just run it down the side, kind of pre-shrink that area. I'm knocking down these big fingers. Every time I do that, this big finger turns into two smaller fingers. And those smaller fingers are a lot easier to shrink than the big ones. If you feel like you might be burning your fingers, or if it's getting a little toasty for them, just get you one of those little heat gloves, most commonly found in the vinyl wrapping industry, and that'll keep you safe. We're almost to the bottom. There we go. Get this last little bit here, and we are home free. This film is actually very forgiving as well. I've never seen the film bounce back if you crease it. I've seen some films that does an okay job at it, but it's never like bounced back 100%. The Apeax film is the first that I've ever seen be able to do that. Okay, so all this here is past the dot matrix. Back up to the top, same thing. We only have this little bit here left. I'm not pulling on the film with my left hand here. I'm just holding it up off the top of the glass, trying to let it float a little bit. Let's bring the waves to the shore. Last little bit right here, and we're home free. And that's it, guys. That is how you shrink the Apeax ceramic tint. I know this windshield is not the curviest of them, but it is what we have in the shop today. So as I see some more complex cars come in, we'll do the ceramic tint with that and show you how to shrink a more complicated window. So I hope this video helps you guys. If you have any questions, just reach out to us and we're happy to help. Thank you so much for watching.